The Dodgers are moving on to the NLDS. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Phillies House of Video Caps, and today we're going to be recapping the National League Wildcard Series between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Milwaukee Brewers, as the Los Angeles Dodgers sweep out the Milwaukee Brewers in this Wildcard Series. Yet again, another Wildcard Series sweep as the Dodgers are moving on. Not a surprise that you're playing a team that's 2 games under 500 in the regular season. Just not into the playoffs. The Phillies would have won that final game of the season. The Phillies would have been there in LA, not the Brewers. So guys, before we get into this video, please subscribe if you have not yet. Please turn the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. Now the Dodgers, again, this is not a surprise. The Dodgers had the best record in the National League this year. They are a fantastic baseball team. They have a lot of superstars on their team, like Mookie Betts, who had the highest jersey sale in the sport this year. Cody Bellinger, former MVP. Corey Seager, who's a great player. They just have a lot of talent over there. You know, Justin Turner, I know he's not the same player, but he had a lot of good years there as well. Max Muncy could hit like 30 home runs a year for you. They have a lot of talent over there. And, Clayton Kershaw, he's a legend over there. Walker Buehler, he's a good young pitcher. And go over look at the Brewers. They have good young talent too. They're just not anywhere near as good as the Los Angeles Dodgers. I mean, look at Christian Yelich. I know he had a rough year, but he's a good player. I mean, the guy, he's another former MVP. So ever since coming over from the Miami Marlins, he got his act together since going over there. You got Ryan Braun, who's been there forever. Guys, 2 good teams, but the Los Angeles Dodgers are way better than the Milwaukee Brewers. Yet again, another series that is not a surprise to me. It doesn't really surprise me that the Los Angeles Dodgers swept out the Milwaukee Brewers. I mean, it doesn't really surprise me at all. I mean, this is not really an evenly matched series. This is you're having the 8th seed play the 1st seed. And as I said, the Phillies would have been there if they would have won that final game of the series against the Tampa Bay Rays. They would have been in LA playing the Dodgers. But anyway, it's not my point. Just not a good series for the Milwaukee Brewers. They just were playing a team who just totally outdueled them. They were not up to par with the Dodgers. They just were not up to par with them. And Corey Seager, a homer in that first game. And if you look at Suter, he was on the mound for the Brewers the first game. He just did not look good at all. He went an inning and 2/3, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 5 walks, and didn't strike out 1 guy. He was absolutely terrible. And if the Brewers are going to win, any team's going to win a playoff series, you need good starting pitching. And the Brewers did not get that in the first game. You can't win games if you don't get good starting pitching or good pitching, in that matter. You saw that with the Phillies got some good starting pitching this year, and their bullpen blew it late in the game. But anyway, if you go over and look at the Los Angeles Dodgers, Walker Buehler, he went 4 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. I mean, the 8 strikeouts are very, very impressive. 8 strikeouts, that's amazing. Well, he only went 4 innings. Not good enough, but the 8 strikeouts are fantastic. For only 4 innings. Fantastic, 8 strikeouts. They got an early 3-0 lead in this one. The Brewers came back to make it 3-2, and then they tacked on another run in the bottom of the 7th inning. Corey Seager went deep in this one. They just outdueled the Brewers in this one. They just did. And as I said, the Brewers did not get good starting pitching, and that's why they were down early. I tell you, a lot of early leads. You got to get out in front early to win your ball games. It's just as important as having a good bullpen late in the game. You can't blow leads, but you also have to get ahead early. You had to put the pressure on the other team. You got to score first. And that's what the Dodgers did in this first game, and that's part of the reason why they won the first game is because they got off to an early lead. This wasn't a blowout, but they outmatched the Brewers in this one. They outplayed them, and that is why they won. It wasn't like a blowout. It wasn't like they won 10-0, but this is a good, solid game for them. I mean, their bullpen did a good job, and even though Walker Buehler only went 4 innings, and I know he struck out 8 people, but it's still not good. You can't only go 4 innings. You got to go deeper. And as I said, I know the starters are not really going deep in these series, but the bullpen was able to step it up. As I said, bottom of the 7th inning, they tack on another run. So that's how things go for the Dodgers. So 4-2 your final score in Game 1. The Brewers starting pitching was not there. And then last night, Clayton Kershaw, a guy who's been struggling in the postseason, goes out there and just completely dominates as the Los Angeles Dodgers win 3-0. Man, he looked good. And as I said, not a very good pitcher in the postseason. I love Clayton Kershaw. I think he's a good guy. I think he's a very, very good person, good family guy, good player. He's had a legendary career there. And the only thing that is missing from his amazing career is a World Series title, which he has not had since being over at the Los Angeles Dodgers. The last World Series the Dodgers won was in 1988. So it's been a little while, so they need to end that drought. And it looks like I mean, I tell you, they've had a lot of good teams over these past few years, but they just seem to get to the late stage in the postseason. They made it to the World Series, they lose, and it's just been frustrating for them. Is this finally their year? Are they finally going to win this whole thing? We'll see. We shall see. But he was fantastic last night. He was just absolutely fantastic. As the Dodgers throw a shutout, he went 8 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, and 13 strikeouts. 13 strikeouts. And only 3 hits. I mean, look at it. If you've seen me recap these series, right? If you have, you've noticed that I'm saying, like, he only went 5-6 innings. He didn't really go that deep. He went 8 innings last night. I mean, he was just masterful as they throw a shutout. And he was great. For a guy who's not pitched well in the postseason, what an outing he had last night. And it wasn't like they won, 10-0. And I mean, they only scored 3 runs. I mean, that was it. They only scored 3 runs. And Brandon Woodruff was on the mound for the Brewers. He went 4 2/3, 5 hits, 3 runs, and 9 strikeouts. I mean, they're really ranking up the strikeouts in these series. You see a lot of strikeouts. It's either a home run, a walk, or a strikeout, seems like. And I saw that this morning. I mean, it's pretty much all it is: a home run, a walk, or a strikeout. The strikeouts are going way up, and the home runs are going way up. The batting average is going way down. That's the way our game is headed now. In the future now, that's what we're starting to see more of. And he just wasn't good enough. You can't be going out there only going 4 2/3 and on 3 earned runs. But he did strike out 9, which is impressive. I mean, it wasn't like, as I said, their bullpen imploded and he gave up 7 earned runs. It wasn't like the Phillies. Am I right? It wasn't like the Phillies bullpen. The bullpen didn't do a bad job. I mean, their bullpen didn't do a bad job the rest of the way after Woodruff was done. But still wasn't good enough for them, as they are now out of the playoffs. But you still got to be happy, if you're the Brewers. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you just snuck in. That's the thing. It wasn't like you had a fantastic season. You were the second best team in the NL. You have high hopes, and then you're devastated. I mean, you were 2 games under 500 in the regular season, and you just snuck in. And this is the Phillies, I'd be saying that. I'm like, come on, it's the LA Dodgers. I mean, they're the best team in the NL. I mean, you can't be, crying about it. It is. I mean, it's disappointing. Is it disappointing? Absolutely it is. But this series is not a surprise to me. Look at the star power they have. Bellinger, Betts, Seager as well. I know he didn't have a great postseason. I know he homered in the first game. But they have a lot of good talent over on the LA Dodgers side. And the Brewers have some talent. They're just not nearly as good as the Los Angeles Dodgers. So Brewers, done. They are done. You lose the wild card game to the Nationals last year when Josh Hader just kind of imploded late in the game when he gave up that double to Juan Soto late in the game. That was frustrating for them. And then you come out and you get swept out of this wild card series against the LA Dodgers. So, I mean, at the same time, you can't be too upset about it because you were able to get in at least, but it's just yet again another disappointment. But yet again, I still think the Brewers have a good team, and they play in a tough division. There are 4 teams that made the playoffs in the NL Central, so they are one of those 4. So the NL Central is a good division. Do not get me wrong. They have a lot of talent, good young teams in that division. If you're going on the LA Dodgers, not a surprise. You knew going into the season or the series, excuse me. It's a best of 3 game series. We're the best team in the NL. We're playing the 8th seed. This should be easy, right? And this series came as no surprise. I talk about it like every series I recap so far. Is this series a surprise? Is this what I expected? And the answer is yes. I mean, I expected the Dodgers to, at the very least, win the series, and I had a feeling they probably would just sweep them. So this isn't a surprise to me at all. I expected this. The Dodgers are just way better than the Brewers. It's the end of the story. They are just way better than the Brewers. And Clayton Kershaw, good job. I mean, he was amazing. This guy who has not pitched well in the postseason, does not really pitch well under pressure. There's a lot of guys who are great players who do not play well under pressure. And Kershaw's one of them. But last night, you never would have guessed it because he looked great. So it was a wild card series, but it's still the postseason. So congratulations to the Los Angeles Dodgers on advancing to the NLDS. Once again, comes as no surprise, as we only got 2 more series left. The St. Louis Cardinals, San Diego Padres, and we got the Miami Marlins and the Chicago Cubs. So we've recapped now 6 of these series. I have made a lot of videos. Oh my goodness gracious. I've done 3 videos in a row now. I just recording, going up, getting other jerseys, coming back down. So this is fun. I enjoyed. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you have not yet. Please turn the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Check out the social media link in the description section at Phillies House Instagram, Our Fanatics Instagram. Guys, Call or text 267-225-3392. Email me, phillieshouse@gmail.com. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Once again, congratulations to the Los Angeles Dodgers on an impressive wild card series victory. And once again, comes as no surprise. But Clayton Kershaw, congrats on an impressive outing last night. That was more than impressive. That was just outstanding. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. I am Luke, and I will talk to you later. I'll see you guys.